Hi, welcome to Disney to Universal. If you are new here, my name is Nicola, and today's video is all about Pinsane Pins annual pin trading event in London. And this is the first time I've ever done any Disney pin trading outside of the parks. And it was being held in the Thistle Hotel Conference Centre in London. And if you are ever going to the London one, I think they hold it here every year. It's just an FYI, when you are putting in the sat-nav postcode, it doesn't take you to where you need to go. You need to follow the road all the way around. Then you hit some traffic lights, you turn left, and you keep going until you see the Premier Inn on the right-hand side, and then the Thistle is on the left. And parking can also be difficult. It is first come, first serve, and there's not a huge amount of parking in the area, so you've got to do a bit of research on that. Then you just need to look for the signage and you know where you need to be. And when you get in, you are given your welcome pack, which has a lanyard, a badge, and some raffle tickets. We didn't end up staying all day, so we never got to find out what the raffle tickets were all about because I think they were drawn towards the end of the day. So that was a shame, but hopefully next time we'll stay all day. This is just to show you a little overview of what the room was like. And this is the schedule of the day. And the schedule isn't always strict. They ran over on the open edition Pingo draw by quite a bit. And the next footage I'm going to show you is of, as soon as you come through the door, you see this really large pin board that's run by Pinsane Pins, and they allow you to trade freely on there, any pin for any pin, and as many times as you like. And I'm also not going to speak on the next clip as well, because I want you to be able to hear the noise levels of the room, because it was quite a lot of noise. So we love trading on the Pinsane free trading boards because it was like being in Disney and pin trading there. So next I'm going to show you the Pinsane pin shop areas and their trading areas as well. So this board here was £5 for a pin. And you can see not all are on their backer cards, but some are. So really great selection. And this is their £10 board with most of them come on the backer cards. If not all of them. There were some really good ones. I really like that one. It's fun. So some really great prices still. So we felt really safe going to the Pinsane pin areas. So this is their wall of pins, and you can see all the prices on the top there. So the yellow stickers, which were quite a lot of them, were £8. So a lot of the pins I was interested in had the yellow stickers. So I thought they were really good prices, not overly priced. And I think most of them are, or if not all of them, are from Disneyland Paris. So yeah, I had really good fun looking in this section because I felt like it was safe because I'd never done this event before, and I felt like the organisers were going to be probably the easiest to be around, the easiest to talk to, ask questions, things like that. This was their Pinsane pin trading table, and they had absolutely tons of these folders, and they categorized them. So this one I'm looking through was the Sleeping Beauty folder. I think they had multiple Sleeping Beauty folders and probably other characters as well. But honest to God, there were so many pins. It was really intimidating. And a lot of these pins were like limited edition or more special. So these were the kinds of pins that really made me feel out of my depth, intimidated, had no idea what to do. And this is an example of one of the tables where I felt totally out of my depth. A lot of very expensive, limited edition, special pins where I just didn't feel like I had any chance at all in being a new person who's pin trading, could try and trade with these people, because I'm just not at that level yet for pin collecting, just starting out. They did have other pins that you could have traded with that were like loose pins, mystery pack pins, those kinds of pins which are further down the table. So be aware of that if you're new. So now I'm back to the free trading Pinsane pin board. As I said before, I felt very comfortable in these areas. And here I'm showing you the pin I'm trading for one off the board here. And another one of mine I'm trading for another one off the board. And these two I had just bought from this seller, and they were from this box here. So all the pins in this box were £5 each, and you could only buy them. So this is the very first pin I actually traded for. Actually plucked up the courage, liked this pin on the board, and figured I could have a shot at trying to see if they were interested in any of my pins, which thankfully he was, but it was super intimidating, nervous, and I was sweating. And I just thought, he's going to say no, 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 no. And here is our trade. He got the Chewbacca. This is a clip of the pin we gave for the open edition Pingo. And this is the guy who was collecting in this paper bag. And then he would give you one pin for one of the bingo cards. But obviously, if you wanted more, you could give more pins to get more cards. And this is the other board that was at the bottom of the room from Pinsane Pins, where you could free trade any pin for any pin. Again, it was very comfortable doing this. So there wasn't actually a lot of footage that I got from the event, and that is mainly because I felt really, really intimidated and overwhelmed and just didn't know what to do with myself when I was there. I can say though, as I started to warm up and go around the room a couple of times, have a little look what was going on, I did feel a little bit more comfortable in approaching people and asking to trade. And I do have to say, everybody was really nice and I didn't get refused once, or my daughter get refused once when we were asking to trade with anyone. Obviously, if I'd have tried to trade for some of the really bigger pins, that's when I think I would have gotten refused. But obviously you can tell the difference. It's obvious when you're there. Even for somebody like me who doesn't have a huge pin-based knowledge, they do have 3 events currently that they do throughout the year, Pinsane Pins. And there are other events as well that are out there. So I'm super excited to have found this community in the UK, because I'm definitely going to try and go to as many of these events as possible. The London ones are quite far away and it is a lot to undertake, but they are doing a Preston one, which is only a couple of hours away from me. So that one is going to be so much better. I think that one's a new venue that they're doing. So I think the more popular this gets, the more venues and areas they will add on. What I do have is the haul of all of the pins that we got from the event, so I figured I'd show you those. Okay, so here is my pin haul. These are all the loose pins. I do have a couple that are on backer cards as well, so I'll show you those as well in a moment. But I was over the moon to find some of these selections. So these mermaid ones are a brand new set that are on Shop Disney. I was so tempted to buy some of these, but I figured I might come across them in pin trading communities, so I held off, and I was so happy I did, because as you can see, I found 5 different ones. I think I actually traded 3 or 4 of these just from one trader. That trader was actually Stu Pins, Stewpins. He actually has his own business where he sells a lot of these pin folios, which is what this is. This is a show one. Absolutely in love with these, by the way. These are so worth it. We used to carry our pins around in a pouch. This is so much better. And to be able to see them and keep them safe, perfect. Anyway, so yes, I got 4 of these from him. He did me a really good deal. My daughter was after a couple of pins as well, and I think we traded 7 pins of his, and he only wanted 6 of ours, so that was really nice as well. So just wanted to give him a little shout out. Then I got, I think this one was off one of the Pinsane free trading boards, and this was with Pinsane group as well for another table. I traded, I think, a Baymax version of this. This one I actually showed in the video. I bought these 2 pins from one seller. So these were £5 each. So this Sleeping Beauty one and this Cinderella were bought. And they were the only pins that I actually bought on the day. I only ended up spending £10, which is insane considering I got all of these pins. Then I managed to trade for this Cinderella Reflections one. So 2 from that series, which was amazing. This one was off a Pinsane free trading board. Wasn't quite sure on what it was, but I liked the look of it. I thought it was quite fun. I'm probably not going to keep this one, but it was fun to trade. This was also off the Pinsane pin trading board, which is one of the Hercules vases. So that's another great pin trade from the boards. This was also from the Pinsane pin trading board. So I love Captain Hook, and so I thought he would be good to get. And then this Beauty and the Beast Windows of Love, I think they're called. That was made with another trader, so that was fun. The next one, this isn't a proper backer card, but I just wanted to mention this person also because she was lovely. I'll actually put a photo in because I asked if we could take a quick photo because she was so nice and so helpful. And her pins are called Bonkers Bob's pins. And I was really interested in this one, but she actually gave it to me for free. It's the Cinderella Lenticular. As you can see, it changes the image. So beautiful pin. I couldn't understand why she wanted to give me it for free, but then she said there are, and it'll be hard to show it in this light, but on the lenticular bit there are a couple of scratches, which maybe if you were looking to keep this as a pin trading pin would be an issue, but for me as a collector, this was one I was wanting for my own collection. Around there's some scratches, very, very slightly though. But yeah, I love this pin and was super happy that she gave it to us for free. And my daughter actually pin traded with her for one of our pins for one of her pins, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, that was so nice. So she was actually she had her own stall, but she had one of the badges on that says Pinsane Pins Team. So she must have been one of the helpers who's known them for a long time. And there was a few dotted around the room like that. So they had these little wooden badges on. But yeah, really, really nice lady. Now on to my daughter's pins. So she actually traded for this one with Bonkers Bob's pins. So that's the Jasmine one she traded for from that lady. And here we go. She got this Aurora Castle sparkly one and this other one, which was Cinderella. She loved these. It's so strange how certain people go for certain pins. Like she's some of her pins I'm interested in, but not majority of them I wasn't. So as much as I collect Cinderella and Aurora, these pins didn't speak to me, but they really spoke to her. She loved them. And she's not really a princess person as much, which is interesting. Got these two from the same seller. She wanted the Munchlings. So this lady actually had the prices of her pins on the back. So she had little stickers on which said something like £6 or £7. I think the Baymax one was more because it was classed as a chaser pin. They would say if you have an idea on the value of your pins, that would be helpful because when it comes to trade, you know what you're trading for. I don't believe anybody would rip you off at these kinds of events because they already know what generally the value is of most pins out there. They've got quite a lot of pin knowledge. So as long as you're comfortable to trade for it and you haven't spent like £100 on a pin and you're trying to trade for this one, they wouldn't do that. They would tell you. But it's good to know the values of your pins before you go. This was the last princess cake that my daughter needed. So we were able to trade for it, which was amazing. And it was the Ariel cake. So she loved that. Then she was really drawn to these two 100 pins, but they're by Loungefly. I'm not really a Loungefly collector as yet, so I stay away from them. I like to just keep the Disney Parks pins. But she loved these two. So these were the two that she wanted from Stew Pins. Not my taste, but she absolutely loves them. This was another trade. It's like I think this is like a Spanish one. And this, I think, is like a little Funko Alice. And for some reason, she fell in love with this one as well. So she's collecting all kinds of pins at this point. So yeah, so those were her trades. And then she actually bought something as well. So I spent £10, but she actually loved this pin. I love this pin as well, but I just thought I'm not going to get away with spending £35 on a pin. My husband was giving me a little slap on the wrist because I'd already spent so much in Walt Disney World recently, and on buying quite a lot of pins to try and pin trade with in the future. So I'd already bought quite a lot of pins. So yeah, this one was from Pinsane Pins, from that big wall of pins that they had. That were on the cage, and this was £35. So this was $45 originally, so 35 is a good price to get it at. And I actually really like this. It's a small Fantasyland collection that they came out with. So it's a mini jumbo, and it has 3 pins on the back, and this is limited edition. This is the pin I am super jealous of that she got, and it is pin on pin, all about castles, princesses and princes. Limited edition of 1,750, which is a nice sized number. A really beautiful pin that I'm very jealous about. Maybe one day she'll let me have it. For now, this will stay on her pin board, and I'll just have to be jealous. This next pin is the Disney Heroes and Villains, an epic showdown, and this is limited edition, and it's from the Wreck-It Ralph movie. This was me being really brave and trying to trade for this one, and this is a really chunky, cool, super cool pin. My husband actually thought this was really cool, this pin. Originally, this was $22 in the parks. So heavy as well. It's got 2 pin backs. This was on the, actually it was in the video earlier on of the Pinsane pin trading tables in those books where they had all of the more special pins, the limited editions and special pins. So this one was in that folder, and I asked if they were interested in trading, because I figured if I was going to try for one of these more special limited edition pins, it was probably safer to try it with the Pinsane pin team than trying it somewhere else. So this was like me being really brave and having a shot. And I'll take the pin out, but it was the lady who runs it, so she had a look through my book. It took her a little while. She's very busy. She actually took one of the pins that was in the video, so it was the very first pin that I had traded for, which I made this mistake. I shouldn't have left it in my pin trading book. I should have put it on the lanyard, which is what I started to do after that. I kept all my pins on my lanyard that I didn't want to trade. And but that was left in the book with the traders because it was the very first pin I traded for. So she asked for that one and another one, a Merida pin that I had that was on the back of a card, a brand new one. But as much as I did love the Belle one, which was a lenticular like the Cinderella one that I've got, I really wanted this one more. So if she was happy to take those two, I was over the moon to get it. So I let the Belle one go, even though I was a little bit gutted, but this one just blew that one out the water. So I was happy to do that trade. This is a limited edition of 1,000, which is a really nice number. You've got King Candy or Turbo there, Fix It Felix, Wreck-It Ralph's in there. And it looks like arcade games. It's a really thick pin. It's like it's on 3 layers. Really nice. Back in, 2 pins. I just love this pin. This is right up my street. Very cool. So yeah, really happy to make that trade. So here is the overall haul for the day. As you can see, that is a lot of pins for our very first pin event. And I am super happy with everything we got. It was a lovely, really fun day once you got into it and you kind of stopped being so crazy and just thought, let's start asking to trade. It was really good fun. So the next one, I'm definitely still going to be intimidated for the Preston one and still nervous until I really start getting used to it. But I'm not gonna wait so long to really start getting in there next time. So I really can't wait for the Preston one, which I'm hoping to get more footage of next time because I'm not going to be so crazy scared. If you have any questions about the day, please put them down in the comments and I will try to answer them. That's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.